think originally, sorry about the break, which we are on now. I think we are. We're still discussing the story of Musa alayhi salam. In between, there was a small diversion. We discussed the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the necessity of following him. So the verse we're doing today, Allah Ta'ala speaks about the favors. Now, if you look at the first para and the second para, Allah Ta'ala speaks about all the favors He showered upon Bani Israel and the constant um, reneging on the promises and the ingratitude for the favor of Allah Ta'ala. So here we got a verse of a similar nature. Allah Ta'ala says, and we divided them into 12 tribes as separate communities. And we revealed to Musa alayhi salam when his people asked him for water, strike the rock with your staff. The 12 springs, then 12 springs gushed forth from it. Each tribe came to know their drinking place, and we shaded them with the shadow of the clouds, and we sent down to them the man and the salwa. Eat of the good things we have provided for you, and they did no harm to us. Rather, they've been harming themselves. In other words, their ingratitude, the kufran ni'mah, they never harmed us, they harmed themselves. Okay, so man, on the words manna, which is in Hebrew, it is manhu. Now remember, Hebrew is also a Semitic language. That is why there's a lot of similarities between Arabic and Hebrew. Just on that same note, I was reading somewhere, just interesting. This camera is on here. Camera off. It's off. So maybe you're busy. That the Hebrew language was almost lost, or a great deal of the Hebrew language was lost. And what they done, they actually used Arabic words to fill in that words that was lost from the Hebrew language. That is why now with all this hype of the war in Gaza and all that type of thing, you must have come across a lot of clips of people speaking Hebrew or whatever, and you see a lot of words there you're able to identify. Like one is nahnu. Whenever they say we, they say nahnu. So a lot of the words that was lost with the passage of time from the Hebrew language was filled in with Arabic language words. Anyway, so manna in the Quran in Hebrew is manhu. And this is also described in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, 4. It's a small round thing, as small as a hoarfrost on HOAR, hoarfrost in the ground. So this is, I remember this was discussed once in detail also on the Mufti's chat quite a while back. Maybe I can try to get a discussion again. Somebody even shared some type of diagrams. And now recently again was discussed on the ulama chat. It's like a type of a mushroom, but not exactly a mushroom, but it's like something that grows from the ground, like a fungi type of a thing. But it's edible, right? So according to Abdullah Yusuf Ali, it usually rotted, the sting man, it usually rotted if left over till the next day. And it melted this, whatever it is. But I just for the moment, inshallah, maybe if I get that tahqiq, that research exactly what is manna and so on. Now, recently, about last week, they were discussing on the Mufti's group what is this manna exactly. But anyway, Abdullah Yusuf Ali says it is such a thing that would only last for one day. It is such a thing, so just say like a type of a mushroom or whatever, it lasts for one day. So the amount necessary for each man was about an omer, a Hebrew measure of a capacity of about 2.5 quarts. This is a Hebrew account, probably distorted by tradition exaggeration. The actual manna found to this day in the region of Sinai is gummy saccharine found on the species Tamarus. As to salwa, it is a quail. So anyway, the main thing, what they're giving some measure, they're giving some explanation, and they're giving some quantums there. But the main thing, this is Allah Ta'ala sent enough just for one day. This was like a beautiful, divine food which Allah Ta'ala sent. So the type of mushroom, that's the main thing you understand, right? Then the salwa, it was a quail. Large flights of them are driven by winds in the eastern Mediterranean in certain seas of the year, as was witnessed during the Great War in 1914, 1918 by Indian officers who campaigned between Egypt. So this was also a natural occurring bird there, which Allah Ta'ala would send them. So the above verses have enumerated various favors that Allah Ta'ala bestowed upon Israelites. Allah Ta'ala gave them the water to drink, Allah Ta'ala will provide the man and the salwa, manna and salwa. And so Allah Ta'ala speaks about this, right? It spoke of the deviation from the commands of Allah Ta'ala, resulting in a heavy punishment for their transgression. So in 1 minute, Allah Ta'ala speaks about the favors that He showered upon them. And the next minute, Allah Ta'ala speaks about their transgression, them turning away from Allah Ta'ala, and there is the punishment Allah Ta'ala sent upon them. So the translation, right? So the translation of the verse given above is self-explanatory, and the relevant details have already been given in Surah Baqarah. So what is saying here is that Allah Ta'ala is just speaking about the constant reneging of their promises. Allah Ta'ala provided so much for them, right? But despite that, they always came with stories. And I told you, one of the reasonings that we learn from other verse, نَحْنُ أَبْنَاءُ اللَّهِ وَأَحِبَّاؤُهُ, that we are the beloved of Allah Ta'ala. Like, to understand this here, and this is, like maybe in the madrasa, in the school, you got a student which is a favorite of the teacher or is a favorite of the principal. So if you see the principal favoring all the time. So now the student thinks in his mind, I can do anything, I can get away with it. The principal, he likes me, he won't do me anything. So Allah Ta'ala favored them so much. So that favor, instead of it engendering with them appreciation for the favors of Allah Ta'ala, it emboldened them to become disobedient. And in another verse also it says that they used to say that if we get punished, we'll only get punished for a few days. That is why I tell you, يَعْرِفُونَهُ كَمَا يَعْرِفُ أَبْنَاهُمْ. They recognize Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as a true prophet, like how they can recognize their own children, these our children. But why not accept him? Same thing. They thought in their mind, look here, Allah Ta'ala loves us. He won't really punish us. If He punish us, He will just punish us for a short while. And that is what is mentioned here. تقدم تفسير هذا كله في سورة البقرة وهي مدنية وهذا السياق مكية. So the explanation of this all has been passed there. ونبهنا على الفرق بين هذا السياق وذلك بما أغنى عنه. Okay, we'll do this tomorrow. Mana is here, but the main thing is they're saying this is making a reference to incidents that happened in the past, the ingratitude of the Bani Israel. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallah bihamdika wa